This is the Shanice Lewis Show, the #1 podcast for plus-size women. With your host, the queen of curvy conversation, Shanice Lewis.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Shanice Lewis. Today is Monday, July 29th, 2019. Make sure you follow the show's social media pages on Facebook at The Shanice Lewis Show and on Instagram and Twitter at Shanice Show. And make sure you subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app. The Shanice Lewis Show is an official media partner of the 2019 TCFStyle Expo happening August 9th through the 11th at the Omni Hotel at the CNN Center in Atlanta. For tickets and more information, visit www.tcfstyleexpo.com. And speaking of the TCFStyle Expo, we have a very special guest on the show today. Denee is a plus-size business expert and the editor-in-chief of the Curvy Fashionista, a fashion and style blog that is a one-stop shop for all things curvy, confident, and chic. In 2017, she was honored as the Root 100s list of the most influential African Americans and was a recipient of the Network Journal's 2018 40 Under 40 Achievement Award. Marie has been featured in Ebony, Essence, Lucky Magazine, Glamour Magazine, Black Enterprise Magazine, Claire Italia, the London Times, the Wall Street Journal, Madame Noire, Shape Magazine, the Los Angeles Times, and more. She is also the creator of the TCFStyle Expo, an annual plus-size shopping event where women and men bond over style, entertainment, and empowerment. The 2019 TCFStyle Expo will be August 9th through 11th in Atlanta, and we're going to learn all about it today. Let's welcome Marie to the show. Hi, Marie.
Hello, Shanice. How are you?
I'm good. How are you with the countdown to the expo?
Oh, you know, as crazed as could be. As crazed as could be.
Well,
it's
before we get
now.
Right. Well, before we get into the expo, I want to talk about your blog first because one of the #1 questions I get asked is, how can I be featured on the Curvy Fashionista blog? People always ask me that, and I don't know why they ask me that. I guess they know we're friends, but I have nothing to do with the content on your blog. So I want you to give an answer for everybody. What is the proper protocol to be featured on the Curvy Fashionista?
You know, it's actually very, very, very simple. All you have to do is send us an email. You can email info or news at the Curvy Fashionista. If you are a new brand, send us your press release, your Dropbox link for images. Send us all that information in one nice email. Introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing. And, you know, from there, we'll be able to let you know from a timing space when we'll be able to. And as long as it aligns with the brand and with our content, we will work to make sure that we can best support.
So what type of content doesn't align with the brand or things that you are not interested in covering on your blog?
I don't cover weight loss. I don't cover diet stuff. I don't cover, those are the two top things. I do cover things from a plus-size fashion lifestyle perspective. So it's like new designers, collaborations, store openings. And we work, we have a big soft spot for our indies. Our indies are the lifeblood. We just do ask that you have a website that's professionally done so that we can send people to you that also feel confident in making a purchase via your site.
So do you try to stick to fashion and beauty exclusively, or sometimes do you add in lifestyle things too?
Oh, we're totally adding in more lifestyle as well. So, if you're a brand that, has, for example, Erica Watson had a beauty launch, and so we covered her stuff. But if there's like, can we all go, that's a plus size app for products and how to navigate the plus space, like we talk about that as well. Sometimes we cover dating, sometimes we cover travel, sometimes we cover accessories. So it all just depends. The timing of, like what time of the year you're sending something and what it best aligns with. So the best way that you can find out is if you shoot us an email and ask.
Now, this is another question I get asked about you and your blog, because I guess I'm the plug for Marie, I guess. Now, I know you get a lot of emails, and I know you do not have time to respond to all of them. So say, for instance, you're not interested in covering something, you don't necessarily send out decline letters. You only respond to the things you're interested in, correct?
Sometimes. Like, I think, we do get quite a few emails, so the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? So don't hesitate to follow up, because sometimes it just may not have been seen, or sometimes, our emails automatically send things to spam, right? So it's just best to do a follow-up email, and also to inbox us, like you can DM us, via Facebook or Instagram. So, if there's something that you've sent and it's time sensitive and you want to make sure that we get our eyeballs on it, like you can follow up in those areas too.
Now, are you seeking writers and contributors for your blog?
I'm always seeking writers. Like right now I'm looking for contributors who can consistently contribute, ideally at least once a week. We are starting to ramp up our content planning, and so for me, and our content strategy. So for me, it's really important to, build out our team, depending on what the topics are and the word count. We'll be able to negotiate everything from there.
Perfect. So your event is an extension of your blog. So tell us how your vision for the TCFStyle Expo came about.
It's funny, let's see, the Curvy Fashionista has been around for 10 years now, so it's like crazy. So this December we turn 11. And I've gone to different events, and while I was still in California, my cousin and I had gone individually to this one event, and we were like talking about it. About like what was missing, and in jest, she suggested that I do something, but for plus people. I had a vision of what I should be doing. I kind of sat on it out of fear. Moved here to Atlanta, kind of posed as the perfect place to kind of test this, and from there, like the Curvy Fashionista is literally bringing the blog now turned digital platform to life, right? So we are, bringing these indie designers. We're bringing different conversations through panel discussions and keynotes, and having fun and in a safe, like, celebratory space while doing it.
And at the time when you created your event, there was nothing else like this in the plus-size space, correct?
There have been different types of events. Everyone has like a different angle to it, so it's not so much like I don't know if I would say I'm like the only one, right? Or at that time I was the only one. I think there are different events that happen, whether it's like a Full Figure Fashion Week, CurvyCon, District of Curve. There's different events that happen across, the United States. And so for me, it was something that I felt very compelled to do, and to do it then when I did.
Right. And so, like I said, your 5th year anniversary is coming up very soon, August 9th through the 11th. Now, this year, you took it up a notch with your special guests. Now, tell us who your special guests are.
Definitely we're going to the Omni this year, which is different. The past 2 years we've been at the Cobb Galleria Center. It's year 5. I'm a little fancy. I wanted my event and everything to kind of reflect that. And so this year we have Tasha Cobbs, Leonard, who is, a gospel recording artist. She will be at our coffee and conversations on Sunday morning for our VIP ticket holders. We have Jay Boleyn, we have Nikki Daniels, we have Ashley Nell Tipton, Lyris Cross, Nikki Gilbert, and we are actually on the edge of announcing one other person. We have quite a few other people who are Carissa from Fat Girl Flow. We have Kenya Molly from Sylvia Molly that you know from Project Runway. So we have a couple of different, heavy hitters a little bit.
Well, that's exciting. And one thing that is specific to your event is the Blogger Mastermind. Now, tell me a little bit more about the Blogger Mastermind on that Friday.
I have to give a shout out to Pepper Martin of Pretty Plus Pep on this one. She really pushed me out of my comfort zone to actually do this. She has shared with me, people want to learn from you, Marie. It's not just stop passing the baton to other people. People want to hear. And so I was like, really? Okay. And so for me, I'm always giving information and sharing and helping other bloggers kind of, level up in their own spaces. And so, the Blogger Mastermind was a way for me to share some of the things that I've learned across these 10 years in blogging, the business of blogging, and sharing what those essentials are. You want to talk about making money. You want to talk about SEO and getting page views and building that audience. These are the essentials and the building blocks that we'll be talking about at the Blogger Mastermind.
So this is a two-part question. The first part, is it for somebody that already has an established blog, or could it be for somebody that wants to start blogging? And number two, is it only for people in plus-size fashion blogging, or could it be for any type of blogger?
So to answer both questions, it's both, right? So the Blogger Mastermind is, even if you're a blogger who's established, there's some essentials and foundational things that you may have started and didn't really think that this was actually going to be a business, right? So some of those essentials you may need to know and kind of take a couple of steps backwards to make sure that your foundation is strong. For that new blogger who may not even have a blog but has been curious about it, you have that option as well. We do take it from a 101 space, but we also, I will talk about and reference higher level steps and ways that you can think about future forward-moving things. And that's, and thanks to our sponsor, Mediavine, who is my ad partner for the Curvy Fashionista, they are sponsoring the Blogger Mastermind. Now, for attendees, it doesn't matter if you're plus or straight size, not even into fashion. These are foundational things that will be applicable across the board.
Perfect. And the reason why this class is so important, because one of the things you stress is building your own brand versus building it just on social media, which is a platform you don't own, correct?
Yes. For example, just this past weekend, it's a good point you brought up. Just this past weekend, Instagram deleted over 20 meme accounts. 20 meme accounts that some had over 12 million, some had over 30 million, some had 567,000. Waking up one day and Instagram deciding to delete all of that's bananas. And when you don't have control over that, because you are literally renting land on someone else's property and you're not even paying rent, so they don't even have an accountability to you.
Right. So it's very important to build your own.
Yes. And that starts with being self-hosted, owning your domain, building your newsletter. Those are just some of the key things that need to happen.
Now, that Friday after the mastermind, bloggers mastermind, you have two more events. Now, is that Friday night programming exclusively for bloggers, or is that for the general public as well?
So the blogger to brand speed dating is exclusively to the bloggers who will be in attendance. And so this is where, bloggers will be able to pitch various sponsors, different vendors, their business, like their 3-minute elevator pitch, right? They'll be able to pitch this brand, pitch them with the different ideas they have, who they are, what they do. So that's something that we've added new this year, especially because some of the bloggers and brands, just from conversations past, wanted more time over one-on-one. Following the blogger speed dating, you have your VIP networking mixer. So that is where kind of like a kickoff for our VIP ticket holders, sponsors, and vendors and models come together.
Perfect. And so Saturday, you have some new additions to the event. One is the Curvy cosplay catwalk. Now, tell us more about that.
So, I have the biggest soft spot for cosplay. I've never cosplayed myself. I think the most that I've done is dressed up for Halloween, as a grown-up. But this year, especially as the plus-size cosplay world is growing, I wanted to make sure that that community knew that they were invited and welcomed as well. And so this year we're going to do like a little catwalk, walk-off where the cosplayers will be able to show off their work, right? Show off, their character, their work, what they're doing. I mean, because, like, when you really look at, like, some of the work that folks put into it, it's so innovative, it's so creative, and it deserves to be acknowledged.
Mhm. And then following that, you have the rise and growth of big and tall fashion. Now, is that a panel discussion?
The rise in what? Sorry?
The rise and growth of big and tall fashion. Is that a panel discussion?
Yes, it is a panel discussion. Mhm.
And then how to make and create your own lane in plus size fashion. That's a panel discussion as well.
I believe so, but I believe we've changed it up just a little bit.
Got it.
And we will be sharing those details later on today, actually.
Oh, perfect. And so Sunday, we need more visibility, the rise of plus size in media. That would be a panel discussion as well, correct?
Correct.
So the announcements are the people who are going to be on, because we don't know all of the panelists yet, right?
We actually do for the most part. We're just waiting on. We have one more celebrity that we're waiting on, and we just about got it all closed up. And just once that ink is dry, we will be sharing that information with you guys.
And VIP coffee and conversations with Tasha Cobbs. Now, tell me a little bit about how that's going to be set up.
So this is for our VIP ticket holders. So this is not like a breakfast. This is like a literal, grab a cup of coffee, sit down and listen. We're going to do a Q&A conversation and have a little bit of a conversation with Tasha Cobbs about her journey, right? And as we go through that, we'll be able to talk about, how she got to where she is, what she's launched 2 different brands since she's launched 2 different brands. One being like a sunglasses eyewear company, and her second, her activewear line. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then a little bit of Q&A, and then the doors will open.
Okay, so that's before the expo even starts. That's in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then how to navigate the plus size fashion scene. Now, this should be a popular panel because I'm always asked that question. How do I break in to the plus size scene? Because to the outside looking in, sometimes it looks like it's a whole bunch of clicks that you can't break through.
Well, that's going to be, clicks are always going to be wherever you go. And I think it's just about the perspective and the way that you choose to kind of look at things. So in this particular space and with this particular situation, we will actually have a couple of different types of people in fashion. speak specifically to this topic. So this is going to be a little fun. This is going to be Jay Boleyn. This is going to be this is the style one, right? So this is Jay Boleyn. This is oh my God, I totally forgot that we also have Princess Bella, Carla Toby, Princess Bella, also speaking as well. So she's going to be speaking at the expo this year too. But for the style panel, we will have Jay Boleyn, Ashley Nell Tipton, I believe Nikki Daniels as well. So people who've had different, very unorthodox ways and how they've created their own, right? And how they've leveraged different platforms around them into creating, and creating their spaces.
Nice. And so this year, are the panels going to be in separate rooms, or is that going to be on the main stage?
Right on the stage.
Perfect. And so let's give a shout out to some of your sponsors. You mentioned one of the Blogger Mastermind, but who else is helping out make this event happen?
Well, let me pull up, make sure I don't forget anybody. But we have Eloquy. We have I feel like I'm like caught off guard. I'm like, wait, let me make sure I get everybody. Because we also just got in Anthropology, which we haven't formally announced, but they just came on board. So let's see. Let me make sure I get to everybody. So we have Big Fig, Fashion to Figure, Zone Natural, City Chic, Anthropology, Eloquy, Mediavine, Azazi, and Ella and Oak.
Nice. And so, as you said, some new sponsors are still being announced. So is it too late to be a sponsor if you're listening and you want to be involved?
We could figure out a way to make it work with you.
You just need to check.
Right.
And so let's shout out some of your team that helps make this event happen, too.
Oh, my God. I couldn't do it with, I have such an amazing, dope team. So, let's see. Let's start with Kristen. And Kristen is actually my cousin, but she is the buck stops with her, literally. And then we have Kendra, who is our production manager. We have Brandy on logistics from Be Memorable Events. We have Santara Casamayor, who's over our volunteers. Pepper from Pretty Plus Pep, who's over our bloggers and our media. We have Reggie from Reggie. He is our backstage coordinator. We have Auntie G, who is the registration. We have Francis, who's over the vendors. We have my mom, who's over the shop TCF. It's a family affair, right? We have Kendrika and Kirk, who are on our social team. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, we have Kim, who's from Social Butterfly, who's over our speakers. We have a nice, healthy team.
Yes, and that's why the event is so successful, because you have a team behind you. It'll be hard to do everything on your own. The bigger and bigger you get, you need a team.
Of course.
And now you also usually have a lot of volunteers at the event. Are you still looking for volunteers?
We are all set with volunteers. We are totally all set with volunteers.
So what about if someone still wants to be a vendor? Is that closed off too?
It is closed up too.
Nice. So the only opportunity left would be sponsorship, and that's it. Everything else is set in stone.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I know tickets are still available online. Will they be available at the door the day of the event?
Yes. Yes.
And besides the expo, you have the TCF cruise coming up, October 6th to the 12th. So
I feel like I'm
Once one thing is over, you're on to the next thing. Are spots still available to be a part of the cruise?
Yes, and I'll make sure I share the link with you so that you can squeeze in. If you definitely wanted to squeeze in, there's a couple left.
Perfect. So you're a very busy woman. Do you have anything else happening that we could be on the lookout for?
I think that's it for now, right?
Well, that's enough.
Right? Right? It's a lot.
Well, I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to be at the TCFStyle Expo. I'll be co-hosting again this year. We got to give a shout out to Big Ray, the co-host. And it's going to be a fabulous event. So if anybody's listening and you're just thinking and haven't made a final decision, you definitely need to be there. Get your tickets and join us there. So, Marie, tell us your official website so we can keep up with everything you have going on.
Yes, so everything is TCFStyle Expo, TCFStyleExpo.com. You can find us on Instagram at TCFStyle Expo, on Facebook at TCFStyle Expo, and even on Twitter at TCFStyle Expo.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I know you got a lot going on. Sound like you must have got some emails or something, text messages while we were talking. I know you got a lot happening.
I'm always getting information, and I'm over here trying to make sure I'm just focused. So I'm like it's been a Monday, right? It's Monday. It's been a Monday, and with the schedules, we definitely will be. So I will say, you will find next week we will be moving everything over to the Curvy Fashionista website. So don't be surprised if you see things like, oh, boop. I'm like, oh, this looks different because we are moving things over.
So that move will happen before the event?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it. Well, thank you again for being on the show. You know, I'm so proud of everything that you do, and you know you always have my support. So keep doing what you do and keep being fabulous.
Oh, thank you, baby.
So I will see you. Love you too, and I'll see you in a few days.
I know, right? It's going to be here quicker than we think. We blink and it's here.
Right. Well, all right. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, sis.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And thank you to my fabulous guest today, Marie Denee. Make sure you check out her blog, The Curvy Fashionista, and also make sure your face is in the place for the 5th annual TCFStyle Expo happening August 9th through the 11th in Atlanta. So make sure you join us. I will be there as host, and I am looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for tuning in and supporting as always. Until next time, keep thriving in your curves and be blessed.
You've been listening to The Shanice Lewis Show. For more info about the show, visit ShaniceLewisShow.com.